Alright, everybody, pictures up. I need absolute silence on set, please. Thank you. Roll sound.
Sound rolling.
Roll camera.
Rolling.
Scene 11, take 1. Mark. Action.
I'm here as the story about Hanan, who is a young woman trying to find her brother who was ripped from her while trying to flee Syria at a young age. She's the only person in her family who hasn't given up, and she's using her voice as a poet to reach out and try to find it.
So Harry is the brother that was separated from his family. So he's grown up in Toronto with a surrogate family, but he's struggling with his identity. And is he Syrian? Is he a Canadian? And he's at the age where he kind of wants to know more about where he came from.
This story is so real. Like, I know people that have literally gone through this, like the whole process of like being separated, especially like in a time of like need.
Well, I think it's a very timely project. It's something that's happening right now. There's so many refugees coming over. It's an issue that I'm passionate about, and I think it's a story that needs to be told. And there hasn't been really a lot of movies about that so far.
Well, I first got a script in my hand and saw it was regarding a Syrian family of refugees coming to America, and I instantly was ready to go. I try to surround myself with projects that are about the little person, the minority, the people that don't have a voice in the world.
I was homeless for a number of years, so I know the feeling of being displaced. And especially with the Syrian refugee crisis happening, it's so relevant, and so many people should be paying attention to it. And it's something that I think a lot of people need to understand, that people don't choose to be in these positions, and when they are, we have to, as a global community, take them in, because we're all humans. And this film really speaks to the human spirit and the spirit of hospitality and making someone feel at home when they've lost theirs.
It's really interesting. I feel like I'm a part of something really big. It's been cool communicating with two different schools that kind of do things completely differently and coming together, and it's a really collaborative environment, like two directors, two producers, two writers. It's really cool. So I like it, and it'll be really interesting to see how we're different and how some things I might learn from Matt, and Matt might learn some things from me, and I'm excited to see how it kind of blends together in this cohesive unit.
Communication was a big thing, and it's just like a lot of planning. So at first, we all kind of thought that having these two different styles wouldn't really look good together, because then we thought about, well, in post, when the two parts are edited together, like, what if one side looks darker and one side looks lighter, if the colors don't really mesh together, if the cinematography is different. But then we said too, like, at the same time, we are telling two separate stories of like two different siblings who are raised in different like social classes and different families and this and that. So having those differing styles kind of added to that, because it showed how different they were and how they are growing up in very different like urban spaces. So that was really cool.
It's interesting because it's two halves from different parts of the world. So in collaboration with Luke, the DP in Atlanta, we came to this conclusion eventually that the character we're shooting here is kind of hiding from himself and the world, whereas the character that was shot in Atlanta was searching. So I've sort of been taking this style of like point of view and hectic and dark, but also warm in a way, like not dark and scary, but dark and reflective, I guess, in a way.
I think when I heard about the project, I had no idea that I would end up going to Canada, and that also that we would be teaming up with such a talented crew, a talented director, talented DP, and producers that I'm incredibly grateful to work with and be able to learn from. But I think it's just an amazing opportunity, and I think it's so fun. I think being a student at Georgia State University was really cool, because in partnering with Sheridan for this production, I thought it was a really cool way for me to be able to put into practice some of the things I've learned in film school over the last 4 years, but also learn from people who have been doing this in the industry, in the business, for a while.
We have a stellar team. They are amazing. They're incredible. Some have worked on Marvel movies. Some have been just doing it for years. We have the biggest team I've ever worked with, most professional team, great camera department, Just everyone's been wonderful. We have a lot of women, very diverse.
Well, we're 60-40. Let's just start there. That's 60-40 women to men. And this is not something that happens, right? This is something that we planned, that we tried to enforce. And Georgia State, I think, is the top 3 or one of the most diverse campuses in, the country. And so we wanted to represent what that looks like, and that's in every aspect of life, including film and including that set. And I think everybody's responding so well. Everybody's really responsive and kind, and it's what we see every day, and we want to see that on our sets too. We also have, with the crew, we've got Black, white, Lebanese, even in sexuality spectrums as well. We're representing all communities here, and we couldn't be more proud to do it on a project that really needed that diversity. I know as a casting director, we were not going to settle on non-ethnic actors, right? We wanted to make sure that community was represented here in this film.
I'm not a student in either of these schools, and just watching everybody have this experience, I wish I could have had an experience like this, because it's something that you can take with you into, I want to say adulthood, but into life and into the workforce. So I think it's something that is very valuable, having that material when you're done to present, I made this. Not many people get to say that.
It's an excellent opportunity for both institutions, for Sheridan College and for Georgia State University, and then you're bringing 2 different sets of minds together to meet each other, to work together, to collaborate, and that's what this industry is about, is meeting people and collaborating.
I think it's a phenomenal idea that Canada and Atlanta are partnering.
I've done some other student films, and this is not like them. This doesn't feel like I've been on professional sets, and I've been on student film sets. This feels more like a professional set, which is really incredible. Everyone is just so on their game.
It's a unique opportunity to come together and make something. And then you have the Canadian consulate coming in to help us out. And it's good for students because not only does it emulate the industry itself in a way, but it also opens up avenues in the industry. So the lady that we're dealing with, Lisa Stockley, from the consulate, is giving us opportunities to collaborate and to open up opportunities for mentorships within the industry. With all of that in play, it just makes me very proud to say that I am one of the 4 producers on this project, because it's a trend-setting opportunity that will pave the way for future students to do the same sort of thing.